Okay, Assalamualaikum to Ustaz and my fellow friends. My name is Shariah Dalili binti Sarazi. My matric number 264642. So first is we'll tell about the introduction of retirement planning in conventional and also the Shariah perspective. Okay, for the introduction of retirement planning, basically retirement planning is a process which includes a comprehensive review and analysis of one retirement income. The increasing of cost living can give a big impact towards an individual saving, and it can cause individual unable to save their money for the future. Retirement planning is also one of the important aspects in managing the person's finance. Having a good retirement saving is a must to ensure that during the retirement age have an adequate finance and can reduce a financial risk. In Malaysia, financial institution that offers a retirement planning scheme is such as EPF, whereby this type of scheme is most common people use. From the Shariah perspective, Allah is the absolute owner of all wealth. Man is merely a trustee and trusted with the management and administration of the property vested in him. The measurement of wealth in the Muslim economic life is to gain a blessing from Allah, and it is not about how many the person has, but how the person spend. A person success is measured by whether he fulfills all the responsibilities and his obligation as Khalifa on earth. Islamic retirement planning also should comply with Shariah and must free from riba, gharar and maisir.
So the second one, we go to the sources of Islamic retirement planning from Al-Quran and Hadith. So the first sources is Al-Quran. So in Al-Quran, there are stories mentioned about planning in general. Story of Prophet Muhammad in Surah Yusuf, verse 46 until 49. So from the verse, based on the dream of Prophet Yusuf above, the strategy to save and prudent for 7 years and to go through 7 years dot is called riding economic cycles. So in Al-Quran also state that wealth belong to Allah in Surah Al-Dariyat, verse 58. Allah is the sources of all wealth. As Islam is cover all aspects of life, Islam take full cognizance on how Muslims spend their money and wealth in Surah Al-Isra. This verse tells that who spend their wealth wastefully as the brother of evil. Therefore, in order to conduct retirement planning, it must spend regarding to the Al-Quran and also Hadith. From Hadith, Prophet Muhammad SAW reminded 5 matters on the coming of other 5. Take advantage of the 5 matters before 5 other matters. Your youth before you become old, and your health before you fall asleep, your riches before you become poor, and your free time before you become busy, and the last one is your life before you become dead. So based on the Hadith above, we can say that the concept of work is a form part of ibadah, and if we align with the concept of retirement planning from the Shariah view, retirement is considered as an option. So this means that the person can choose to work and keep him occupied until he die, or do retirement plan where his money work for him.
Okay, next, third, we'll tell about the connection of retirement planning with maqasid Shariah. For the maqasid Shariah, I will explain retirement planning in terms of protection of health, protection of life, protection of intellect, protection of lineage, and protection of property. First is protection of wealth. When a Muslim plan for their retirement planning, they will live calmly during their age of retirement, as they didn't have to think about the money and can worship to Allah without any worries. If they live in a financial crisis and also hardship, their faith in Islam can easily manipulated by the money and other possession to meet their needs. Next is a protection of life. A failure in managing money during the retirement age can lead into a financial crisis in the future. Due to financial crisis, it can lead to death as they cannot cover their daily expenses such as for food or their medicine. Financial stress also linked to the physical conditions such as diabetes, heart disease, migraine, headache, and also poor sleep. Next is protection of a lineage. Protection of intellect. Without a proper retirement planning, it can give impact to one mental health in future, as when an individual has a financial crisis, it can have risk of mental illness and other type of disease such as depression, anxiety, and also others. To avoid from this happen, an individual must have a proper and also have a knowledge regarding the retirement planning, and also can ask any financial planner to plan for them. Next is protection of lineage. The individual rights to ensure the men and women are treated in a respectful and responsible manner. Unfortunately, if there is a problem in their financial in the future, they will find money in a various ways, such as can sacrifice their dignity. For example, if a person they doesn't have any money, they will involve with something that illegal or haram, such as prostitute and also adultery job, to get the side income. In Islam, this is very prohibited this action. Okay, and lastly, protection of property. Nowadays, Islamic finance industry have given us many options to protect our money in the future. It can be protected by using EPF account or any unit trust account, and even legally document all wealth to ensure that no one can manipulate and take it unfairly towards our money.
Next, we go to the Shariah compliance of retirement planning. Designing and monitoring investment portfolio that are Shariah compliant and in compliance with the country existing regulation is one of the obstacles in retirement planning. This is because certain portfolio may be Shariah compliant at first but become non-Shariah compliant later. It is critical that the investment be examined basis. So there are three paths to arranging Islamic retirement. So the first one is to analyze an individual future income needs. The financial goal must be created so that the retirement plan has a clear aim for how much money must be saved in the future. It is also necessary to put the strategy into actions. Second is to create a retirement plan that will allow you to achieve your financial goals. The problem of Shariah compliance must be considered in this case. This is necessary to ensure that the retirement plan is clear from the forbidden features, particularly riba. Last but not least, to determine the payment arrangement for the retirement, many takaful companies may accommodate retirees who seek a lump sum payment upon retirement. However, in terms of Shariah law compliance, accruing annuity repeatedly present at least three challenges. Under Shariah law, interest, also known as usury, is believed to be illegal unless it is absolutely necessary. Gara is people who buy annuity do not always know how long they will live, and they do not always grasp the term of the transactions. Many claim that one or all of these circumstances are banned under Shariah law because they cause gara or doubt. The longevity risk also introduce a degree of risk that in certain interpretation might consider purchasing an annuity a type of maisir or gambling because they are betting on their own potential to live longer while the annuity issuer is wagering on their early death. Gambling or maisir is completely forbidden. Sensitivity of Shariah restriction is taken into account. There are solutions to reduce many of the issue related with riba. By changing the idea of interest to profit, indeed, for the accumulation path of retirement plan, a functional mechanism and complying with Shariah law is being put in place, allowing money saved today to grow and profit in the future. The limitation against annuity, the restriction on maisir, that is gambling, might be solved by innovation made and still being developed within the takaful sector to allow a Shariah compliance kind of life insurance. So the Shariah authorities allow the development of a special purpose financial instrument to promote takaful and insurance firm retirement product. This financial instrument will effectively divide the various elements of the transaction. It seems to be a trust structure in many respects.
Employers Provident Fund (EPS) is a government sector, a security institution in Malaysia. EPF provides retirement benefits and manage the savings of its members. EPF involved in various of investment to ensure that the institution sustain in giving dividend to the members. EPF introduced Shariah Saving in 2016, which an option to members saving and invest based on Shariah principle. The investment made by Shariah Saving are not involved to alcohol, gambling, military, weapon and adult entertainment. Furthermore, EPF established a Shariah Advisory Committee (SAC) to ensure Shariah Saving complies with Shariah principle strictly and provide an advice. Practice of EPF. Employees Provident Fund EPF Shariah based saving account use wakalah contract as a practice. Wakalah contract is where EPF will act as an agent or member behalf by using their fund to get involved in investment in terms of their profit to their dividend annually. In addition, for investment operation, EPF refrain from investing in sectors that manufacture and promote alcohol, gambling, adult entertainment and military weapons. It seems to the corporation practice, but for the Shariah-based account, EPF will undergo Shariah screening process that serve to eliminate non-Shariah compliant elements that totally prohibited by Islam. Next is Social Security Organization (SOSO). SOSO is set up under Minister of Human Resources to administer, enforce and implement the Employees Social Security Act 1969 and Employees Social Security Regulation 1971. Social Security Organization (SOSO) has provided protection to employees under its Employment Injury Insurance Scheme and Invalidity Pension Scheme. Workers are protected against industry accidents like accidents which occur while working or occupational disease, invalidity or death due to the any cause. The function of SOSO is similar to an insurance company. By that, Cooperative Takaful Musyarakah Ta'awuniyah apply to transfer Social Security Organization SOSO to Shariah compliant institutions. Next is practice of SOSO. From the operational framework and protection provided by SOSO is similar with the insurance company. There is a principle that SOSO fulfill its responsible. First, solidarity fund is a fundamental value of social protection which works similar to the Tabarruk fund. Solidarity fund channeled by SOSO is from contributions made by its member. From the Shariah perspective, Tabarruk contract become main focus in concept of Musyarakah Muta'awuniyah or Cooperative Takaful. The real intention in Tabarruk fund when joint protection and aids toward any of the participants in case of peril and misfortune.
So, what is the difference between conventional and Islamic retirement planning? Let's see. First, the purpose for conventional retirement is to coordinate the financial resources available. So, an individual can plan for a financially secure retirement or to reduce financial risk during retirement. But in Islamic retirement planning, the purpose is to organize financial retirement that comply with Shariah, which not only free from riba, gambling and gara, but also intact with Maqasid al-Shariah. Second, EPF conventional account has a guaranteed dividend of 2.5% per year. But for EPF Shariah account, it does not have a guaranteed dividend and it is based on the portfolio performance of Shariah compliant investment. Lastly, the conventional retirement planning only until the last trade and does not think about continuity when it's dead. But in Islamic retirement planning continues into the next realm. There are also wakaf, hibah, faraid and wills to be left to the family if they die. Three issues in retirement planning. First is the attitude of people who do not care about the retirement planning. Financial institutions take the opportunity by offering various products as an incentive to the community to save for their retirement, but the majority of population still adhere to wait and see behavior. This procrastination will create socio-economic problems which are homelessness and higher crime rates. Second is application of annuity model. In developing Islamic annuity product or call it as a Takaful retirement annuity plan, we have a various challenges, which include the downsizing of the sukuk market, discussion of long-term sukuk, longevity risk and risk-based capitalization. The annuities basically provide a regular income stream with a fixed amount for the whole life of annuity, which is prohibited by Islamic rulings. But there are Islamic concepts to be adapted into annuity scheme through the concept of takaful, wakalah, wakaf and hibah to bring the Shariah compliant annuity scheme. Third is tendency to overspend. Many working adults tend to spend the full after-tax income on supporting their current standard of living. This has resulted with nothing left for saving towards retirement. It is for this reason that all clients should be taught at a young age to follow a budget that assists them to live within their means and also provide for their retirement savings. Planners should emphasize the spending ratio of not more than 90/10.
In conclusion, Islam encourages Muslims to plan their financial and economic in order to obtain the goal of Maqasid Shariah. Islam governs all aspects of life on how people spend wealth and money. The important thing is to ensure their retirement plan is free from the prohibited element, especially riba. The measurement of wealth is to gain the pleasure of Allah or to gain barakah. Therefore, Islamic retirement planning must usually comply with Sharia, which is not only free from riba, gambling, and Quran, but also in terms of maqasid al-Sharia.